Music in the Cafe, a Lucanet alternate universe month-long fan fiction. Each day will be based on a writing prompt from the Lucanet September 2019 calendar. I do not own this calendar. I will be linking the Tumblr post I found it in the description box below. Thank you for reading, listening, or watching. Please enjoy. Day 24, Spring and Winter. Is it bad that I'm nervous? I already know your sister, but I'm just still nervous, Marinette said, looking up at Luca, who gave her a comforting smile. No, it's not, Luca told her. Marinette nodded and took a deep breath. Wow, it was really feeling like high school again. The door to the houseboat opened and a smiling woman with long gray hair pulled them in. Hello, welcome, she said cheerfully. Goodness, did Luca's mother have a lot of energy. She pulled Marinette to the kitchen table and flounced herself down. I've been waiting excitedly for you, his mother chimed. Marinette nodded and smiled herself. It's very nice to meet you, Marinette chirped back. My name is Anarka. What is your name? Anarka put her hand out, and Marinette gingerly took it. I'm Marinette, she said. Oh, what a pretty name! Anarka squeezed her hand tightly. Knock, knock. Oh, that must be my daughter. She sprung out of her chair and zipped to the door. I hope she won't be mad, Marinette said worriedly to Luca. He took her hand that was still on the table and squeezed it. She won't be, he promised her. Hello, it's very nice. Juleka stopped in her tracks and just stared at Marinette. Oh God, it was such a blank expression, Marinette couldn't read it. Marinette? She said breathlessly. The black-haired girl waved shyly at her old friend. Oh my God. Juleka crushed her in a hug. You know, out of everyone that I know, this is the best outcome I could have ever asked for, Juleka said excitedly. Marinette smiled wordlessly and catched Luca's very bright and shining eyes. Should I even bother with an introduction with you two, or is it all covered? He joked. Juleka chuckled and rolled her eyes, pulling away from Marinette to give her brother a hug. I haven't seen you in like forever. Last time was like, what? Last December for Kagami's 21st birthday? Juleka remembered. Marinette nodded. Yes, it's been way too long. How's the company doing? She asked. It's going well. And how's the cafe? Juleka asked back. Very well, Marinette smiled. It was nice talking to an old friend. Juleka was the exact same as she had last been last time Marinette had seen her. They were happily chatting and playing catch-up with their lives while her brother and her mom sighed excitedly. You'll fit right into the family, Anarka hugged Marinette. I'm so very excited, Marinette mused. You know, I heard about the breakup with Adrian, Juleka said lowly when her mom dragged her brother to prepare lunch. Or at least the dramatized version that was all in all of the magazines. Marinette sighed and nodded. One of the problems of ending a very long relationship with a very famous celebrity son/model was that everyone knew, not just the school and their friends. Marinette had gotten used to the whole, like not having any privacy thing, but it was still annoying. It had been a year, and luckily the world had moved on from her after a few months, though when it did happen, there was so much gossip and so many theories, since they had never made an official statement or anything explaining why they broke up explicitly. So the gossip columns had a field day the next week when they all realized that Agreste had left the house one too many times without his beloved girlfriend. Enter all of the theories and speculations about the possible, but in fact very real, breakup. There were hordes at her cafe, but luckily her employees protected her from the press, and not many of her customers wanted to ask questions. Eventually, Marinette made the statement of no longer being with him. More questions were asked. What happened in the breakup? Why? Are you ever going to get back together? But Marinette just shook her head at each question, explained that they would not be getting back together anytime soon, and made her way out with no further comments. Yeah, the gossip got around, didn't it? Marinette said with a false smile. Juleka nodded. I'm not going to push for answers, but I will say that I'm rather glad that it happened, as heartless as that sounds, Juleka said. Marinette laughed slightly. That must have been a habit she picked up from Kagami. You know, the bluntness. In a way, I am too, Marinette said, picking at her nails. Your brother makes me extremely happy, and it's so different from what it was like with Agreste. Juleka raised a brow at her. Agreste? She said pointedly. Surnames are less personal and more professional, aren't they? Marinette explained, and Juleka turned her hands inside out and pulled a face that said, Point taken. His father wanted to partner with us. Kagami turned that down real fast. Marinette scrunched up her nose. His father was always interesting, Marinette remembered. Juleka nodded her head in agreement. Certainly. Luca and their mother came back with a tray of sandwiches. I don't think there was a single time before when Luca didn't make a huge mess in the kitchen, Anarka said, patting her son on the cheek while he pulled away, groaning, Mom! I take it your reason for that? She flashed Marinette a smile, and Marinette felt her cheeks growing warm. She fiddled with her hands in her lap and picked up one of her sandwich and took a bite. I know that you don't like tomatoes, so we didn't put any for you, Luca said kindly, his mom cooing in the background. Thank you, Marinette said. How'd she get so lucky to have such an amazing boyfriend with such a wonderful family? With Agreste, dinners at his house was awkward, to say the least. His bodyguard was pleasant-ish, and Natalie was just quiet and serious and just awkward. And his father, well, he almost never ate with them. He was always too busy to do so. Eating with Luca, Juleka, and their mom was nice and family-like and warm, just like her own family. So, what are some of your hobbies? Luca told me a little bit about your cafe, his mom said warmly. Oh, well, I've always been interested in fashion, and I used to like act and do theater in high school, Marinette said. Oh, right, the musical from college. You did very well, Juleka remembered. Yeah, it was such a basic musical though. I think it was everyone's first musical, Marinette laughed. Anarka happily talked to Marinette about theater and singing. Apparently, she had been a singing sensation in her youth, working with Marinette's own childhood rock idol, Jagged Stone. Marinette gasped and sputtered, and Anarka just laughed and brushed off Marinette's fangirling, telling her that it was rather common when others found out. Like mother, like son, I see, she mused, looking at Luca. He cleared his throat and looked around for a second. Speaking of which, I have something else I want to share with you guys. His sister and his mother urged him to spill, but Marinette just kept an even smile, already knowing what he was going to tell them. Remember how I was in New York for that one business trip, he said. Nods all around. Well, while I was there, I ran into and met this music agent named Mavis. She offered to put me on her client list, and I decided to accept, Luca finished, and Anarka gasped and clapped her hands together. No more Broadway, Juleka joked, a smile wide on her face. Luca rolled his eyes playfully at her. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Anarka engulfed her son in a huge hug. Thanks, Mom, he said. I'm going to let her know that I accept, but it does mean that I have to live in New York for 6 months at the very least to train with them, Luca said sadly. His mom hugged him tighter. You are leaving to follow your dreams, and as much as I will miss you, this is only necessary, she told him, and kissed him on the top of the head. I'll see you when you're back, or if I ever go to New York for a fashion show, Juleka said. Luca chuckled. Oh, hope to see you there, he said, getting a nod from his sister. Marinette smiled at him.
Technically, her life had already started, but right now it felt real and like it was truly happening. Long distance wasn't too terrifying to her. She and Agres had done it for a year, texting all the time and sending letters for an old-fashioned feeling. 6 months was longer than she wanted, but not too long in the grand scheme of things. For now, she just savored every moment and time with him and her new family, like right now, chatting and just eating sandwiches.